Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brent from Team Draw Better, and today we're back with another deck profile. And today we're going to be doing Runick Plunder Patrol. Now, before we dive into it, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, like always, guys. And without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. So, first things first, we are playing 3 copies of Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. Now, we play 3 copies because during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and if you do, equip this card you control to it. And also, if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can activate this effect, special 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your deck except Whitebeard, and you're locked into special summoning Plunder Patrol monsters for the rest of the turn. So Whitebeard is a really good way to get your plays going. Although if you're going to special summon a Runick monster using your Runick cards, highly recommend you do that first because the Plunder Patrol cards do lock you into Plunder Patrol monsters. So Whitebeard is a really good starter. We do play 2 copies of Bluebeard. Bluebeard is, I want to say, just like an extender, because if you control a Plunder Patrol monster except Bluebeard, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card and draw a card. And the discard and draw 1 card is really not bad, because a majority of the Plunder Patrol monsters have effects when they get sent from either the face-up field or the hand. So pretty nice extender in Bluebeard. We play 1 Redbeard. Redbeard has the same effect as Whitebeard, to be able to special summon 1 Plunder Patrol from the extra deck during your opponent's turn. But his different effect, when he's sent from the hand or monster zone to grave, you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster you control except Redbeard and equip this card to it. So a lot of your Plunder Patrol extra deck monsters require one of these cards to be equipped to them in order for their effects to go off. Well, in order for their effects to be quick effects. So really important that you have the main deck monsters equipped to your extra deck monsters. Next, we play 3 copies of Golden Hair. Golden Hair is just another extender in order to get into your extra deck monsters, because you can send 1 other Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up field and special this card from your hand. And then if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard a card and special summon this card, but you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol monsters. So same thing as Whitebeard. And actually, no, just Whitebeard. Same thing as Whitebeard. Both of these cards, they lock you into Plunder Patrols for the rest of the turn. So if you're going to use your Runick cards to special a Runick extra deck monster, do that first. Moving on, we play just 2 copies of Black Eyes. I was debating playing 3, but also playing 3 of Bluebeard, but 2 and 2 ratio seems like it's pretty fair. I don't really want to see both of these too much, but like they're also searchable. But with Black Eyes, you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster in your grave except Black Eyes, special summon this card, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. Also, you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol monsters, so same thing as Whitebeard, same thing as Golden Hair. This locks you into Plunder Patrols, so make sure you use your Runicks before this. And a second effect, if it's sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster card in your spell and trap zone and special in defense. So Black Eyes is just really good for recycling all of your main deck monsters because of his effect to add them back to your hand and then special summon them if they're in the spell and trap zone. So Black Eyes is a staple. But moving on, we play 3 copies of Dipsy Fiend. Dipsy Fiend is amazing for Plunder Patrols because you can discard a card, then declare 1 attribute except water, special summon this card from your hand to either field, Then this card becomes that attribute until the end of the turn. Then if you special summon this to your opponent's field, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Fiend monster with an original attribute other than the declared one from your hand or graveyard to your field. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can't special summon from the extra deck except fiends. So this is loaded with benefits for all these monsters because, number one, you discard a card that sets off a majority of effects for all these other cards, and then you get a free summon off of a fiend. All of these are fiends. All the main deck monsters are fiends. Even though this is a bird, no, it's a fiend. So, but Dipsy Fiend is a really good card to add to the deck because it just gives so much more value to all these other main deck monsters. So that's going to be it for the monsters. Now we're going to move on to the spells and traps. So starting off with the spells, we're playing one copy of Plunder Patrol Shipyard. Now, we play the one copy just because we only need one, but Plunder Patrol monsters you control gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone. So if these are all loaded up, you're going to gain 5, 10, 15, 20, 2,500 attack if all your back row is loaded up with monsters. And you can only use each effect of Shipyard once per turn. You can discard a card and add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand except Shipyard. And if this card is in your grave, you can target one Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone. Set this card and return this target to the hand. So again, another nice recycling card to get your Plunder Patrols back to the hand, or, you know, if you can't have any way of getting one of the main deck monsters to special summon, then that's another way. Now, moving on to the Runick cards, we are playing two copies of Fountain. I don't really understand why Fountain is semi-limited, to be honest. I don't think it's that overpowered, but Runick Fountain's effect, you can activate Runick Quick Play spells from your hand during your opponent's turn, and once per turn, if you activate a Runick Quick Play spell card, you can target up to 3 Runick Quick Play spells in your graveyard and place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, then draw the same number of cards. So it's Runick. You know, if you've played Runick before, it's the standard recycling of Runick. You want to target 3 of your Runick Quick Plays, shuffle them back, and hope you draw some pretty decent cards off of your draws. But moving on to the Quick Plays, we're playing the standard stuff. We're playing 3 Tip. We're playing 3 Flashing Fire, 3 Destruction, 3 Slumber, 3 Freezing Curses, and then I do play a couple of the one-offs. I play 1 Dispelling, 1 Smiting Storm, and then I do play 1 Golden Droplet as well. So if you don't know the Runick cards, I'll go through them real quick with you. So Runick Tip and all the Runick cards share this same ability. So all the Runick cards, you can either special summon a Runick extra deck monster, or you can use their other effect. So Runick Tip is going to add you 1 Runick card from deck to hand, and then you banish the top card of your opponent's deck. Flashing Fire, you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and then banish the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Destruction, you can target a spell and trap your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. Slumber, target a face-up monster on the field, and next time it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it's not destroyed. And it can't attack this turn, and then after applying this effect, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Freezing Curses, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn, then banish the top 3 cards again. Dispelling, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, you can discard 1 random card from their hand, and then banish 2 cards from the top of their deck. Smiting Storm, you can banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck up to the number of cards they control. So if their board is loaded up, like they have Field Spell, 5 back row, 5 monster zones, and 1 extra monster zone, you're banishing 12 cards from the top of their deck. So Smiting Storm is really good if your opponent has a pretty formidable board built up, but we also play the Golden Droplet and Droplet effects. your opponent draws one card, and then you banish the top 4 from their deck. So if done right, you can easily deck out your opponent. That's not really what you want to do with the Runick cards. What you do with the Runick cards is you play stun. Like, you want to stall the game, you want to run your opponent dry of resources, and then when you are able to conduct a battle phase, you just go in and attack with all your big Plunder Patrol cards. But that's going to be it for the Runick stuff. I do play a couple non-engine in the main deck. Just in case we go second, I play 2 Cosmic Cyclone and I play 1 Duster, just for some back row removal. Again, this is if we're going second. I play 3 Droplet just for a little more added interruption. I play 1 Talent just in case, in order to like force out any sort of interaction from the opponent. And then again, going second, if I need to break a board, I play 2 Evenly Matched. But that's going to be all the non-engine, so we're going to move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we play 2 copies of Plunder Patrol Ship Lease. Oops, let me get that in frame. There we go. So Lease effect, during the main phase, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up spell and trap zone. So really strong effect. If you can't, or if you need one of your main deck Plunder Patrol monsters, really easy to summon one out. It's other effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card, negate the activation if you do destroy it. Then if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can add 1 Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So again, here's another prime example of, you want to make sure you have your main deck monsters equipped to this, all of your extra deck Plunder Patrol ships, because they gain additional effects based on if they have something equipped, and it also becomes a quick effect for the majority of the other ones. But really strong effect. The fusion is a negate. But moving on, we have, as far as fusions, we have 2 Hugin the Runick Wings. Hugin's pretty self-explanatory if you played Runick before. If it's special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard a card and add a Runick field spell. You're always going to search Fountain. You always want to get to Fountain. If you can't start with Tip to get to Fountain, then you're always going to go for Hugin. And then we play 1 Moonin. Moonin is honestly just in for time, because if this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard a card and add a Runick continuous spell. We don't care about that, but when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Runick card you control, you can banish this card and negate the activation and destroy that card, but once per turn during the end phase, you gain 1,000 life points. So this is really only a time card. I don't have the goal of just stunning my opponent out and then bringing this out for game. I don't really like to play that way, but if it gets down to the nitty-gritty, then that's a time card. Then we play 1 Gary the Runick Fangs. This can't be destroyed by card effects, and if this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target 1 non-quick play Runick spell in your grave and add it to your hand. So Gary is just to get Runick Fountain back to your hand from the graveyard. Moving on to Lynx, we play 2 Blackbeard. Blackbeard is going to be one of the main monsters you always go into, because quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster you control, special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and if you do, equip that target to it and draw a card. So Blackbeard is always going to be very helpful with bringing out all your Plunder Patrol extra deck monsters. After that, we play 1 SP. Pretty self-explanatory, really good card. We play 2 Plunder Patrol ship Moarch. Moarch's effect, you can discard a Plunder Patrol card and then target an effect monster your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can add 1 Plunder Patrol spell or trap from deck to hand. And this is a quick effect if this is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card. So again, the importance of making sure all your ships are equipped with your main deck monsters. Next, we're playing 2 Brawn. Bronze effect, all other fiends gain 500 attack, discard a Plunder Patrol card, then target a spell or trap. Your opponent controls, banish it, then you can add a Plunder Patrol monster, and it's a quick effect if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card. We play one Jord. Jord's really good for recycling again. If your opponent specials a monster except during damage, you can add a Plunder Patrol card. Then if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. You can target a Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and if you do, place this card in your pendulum zone. So Jord is just a really good extender for getting out your other monsters. And then to top off the extra deck, we do play one Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon is just good for getting rid of something on the field, because you can discard a card and target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And then if it's synchro summoned, if the synchro summon card is sent from the field to the grave, you can draw a card. So just a little bit more removal, and it could even possibly get you another Runick card if you need off the draw. So that is it for the extra deck. Now we're going to move on to the side deck. So real quick for the side deck, you may have noticed I don't play hand traps in the main deck. That's because a majority of them are in the side deck. So I play triple Droll. I feel like Droll is going to be really good this format. All the decks I have played against, like, you know, White Forest, Ubel, what was another one recently? I believe it was Ritual Beast, I think, that really suffered under Droll, but a majority of decks lately still really hurt under Droll, so that's why I'm playing this at 3. I play 2 Nib just to break some boards. Same thing, I play 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit just to like blow some stuff up, because destroying cards can be sometimes better than just negating them with, say, like Ash Blossom. Now, an interesting one that I play 2 Dark World Puppetry. Now, you may be wondering why this card. Well, that's because we only play Fiends in the main deck, and a majority of them are in the extra deck too. So you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyard, banish them, then discard 1 Fiend monster. So you get to target 3 cards in any graveyard, banish them, and discard a Fiend. You're benefiting off of this both ways, because you're discarding a Plunder Patrol and you get to banish 3 cards in any graveyard. So if your opponent's playing a graveyard-heavy deck, they can say bye to those cards. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this from your grave and target one of your banished Fiend monsters and add it to your hand. So this can also recycle your Plunder Patrols in case they get banished. So another really good card to have in the side deck. Play 3 Book of Eclipse. I think Book of Eclipse is pretty good. I think it's going to be even stronger against the upcoming decks like Malice and Ryziel. Not being allowed to go into their Xyz plays, or like allowing them to banish their monsters, can really hurt them. I play 1 Rivalry of Warlords. A majority of the monsters we play are Fiends, so this is fine. And then to cap it off, 2 Solemn Judgment, just for some extra negation. Counter Trap, only thing that can counter it is another Counter Trap. So, that being said, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I would highly recommend giving this deck a try. It's honestly a lot of fun, and I know people don't always feel the greatest about stun decks, but the pirate ships make it all better. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for being patient for me. I apologize for taking a little longer to make a video, but I hope you guys had an excellent Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.